It is a tumultuous time in the world. The war between Russia and Ukraine rages on while much of the world's attention is focused on the more recent war between Israel and Hamas. But it was just over 2 years ago when news of the Taliban retaking control of Afghanistan dominated the news. What's been happening to women, to human rights, to political freedoms in Afghanistan while the world looks the other way? Well, these issues are top of mind for our next guest, Friba Rezayee. Friba grew up in Afghanistan. At the age of 18, she became the country's first ever female Olympic athlete when she competed in Judo at the 2004 Olympic Games in Greece. Friba is based in Vancouver now. She's an educator. She's the founder and executive director of Women Leaders of Tomorrow. And she's with us in studio right now. Friba, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Hello, thank you for having me.
No, I could have gone on and on with your introduction, frankly, your political science degree or your work with the Afghan Women's Employment Program at the local YWCA. But how are you? How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for asking me. I'm doing okay, but my heart and my mind is always with Afghanistan and with Afghan women and girls in particularly.
What do you think we need to know about what's been going on in Afghanistan right now?
I must mention that the Taliban have been recruiting very smart and very educated spokesperson within their organization to help them shape their talking points and their rhetorics in the local media as well as international media to maintain a very good and positive public relation for themselves. For example, they have been very careful and very smart about when they were issuing edicts and enforcing edicts on women. They have released those edicts and enforcing them at the same time when the world's attention is drifting away on other issues in Afghanistan. Two very good examples are, for example, when Russia started invading Ukraine in March of 2022, that's when exactly Taliban started banning women's education above 6th grade. Now, in the recent weeks, as the war has started in Gaza and Hamas and Israel, the Taliban working with the Pakistan government, they started deporting Afghan refugees from Pakistan back to Taliban, back to Afghanistan.
So these were refugees that were using Pakistan in some ways as a stepping stone to move on. They were sheltering in Afghanistan. I mean, in Pakistan.
Exactly.
And now they can't do that anymore. They're being sent back to Afghanistan.
Yes, they are sent back to Taliban. So the members of these refugees were women leaders and journalists, people who work for human rights, for women's rights, for international NGOs, including Canadian NGOs. They can't go back to Taliban, but now they are forced to return to them.
I see. And what is life like for women and girls in Afghanistan today? You mentioned no more schooling beyond 6th grade. What else? What's everyday life like? The quality of life for Afghan women and girls are deteriorating. It's getting worse and worse every day because when the Taliban returned, they immediately banned education for women and girls and they banned sports for women and girls. And later they banned women and girls from going to the local parks and now to the local gyms. And now they have also imposed mahram, which means a responsible male guardian from family members such as husband, brother, or father to accompany her whenever she goes outside, for example, for going to the grocery shopping, going to the medical appointment, or going outside just going for outside. So it's really, really hard and terrible. All the rights and the freedom, very, very basic freedom, for example, just to be able to go to grocery shopping and to buy makeup is completely banned for women and girls in Afghanistan. I'm in contact with the numbers of girls and they contact me on a daily basis. I'm overwhelmed with the requests I receive, and they're all describing the situation as dire, as horrible, and as the worst human rights record in the world.